Why you should never passive invest in real estate. Because if you don't know enough about real estate, commercial real estate, and anything about it, and you're just going off of what sounds good and the flash and the marketing materials and oh, the name brand, it has this name brand and it has this name brand and it's so stable and it's such a good buy. That's about as dumb as saying, well, Bank America is so great. I got my savings account at Bank America or Chase or Wells Fargo, and it's a big brand bank, and I'm making a lot of bank because it's a big name. La di da. Oh, it has this name, and these morons will go out and do passive invest, and they advertise it all over the internet and say, oh, get your 20% or 10%. But little do they know, the distribution payouts are normally a year out, so you don't get paid back for a year. When they buy it, if they even do buy it at the right price, which they never do, they always get it at the highest maximum price because they're paying for all these name brands from the guy that bought it before them, who put them in there and lined it all up and did it right and is making double or triple or quadruple the money, plus selling it to these idiots at higher than normal market prices because they want to brag to all their stupid investors that, hey, we got this brand and this brand and this brand, when a lot of your Fortune 500 companies go broke all the time, but they're big brand names like Whole Foods is pulling out a lot, Best Buy pulled out a lot, of course Walmart pulled out a lot, all these other ones, and other grocery stores pull out a lot when groceries are doing so well, but hey, they could never go wrong, but yet they pull back all the time. Cash flow is always an issue on a lot of name brands that are Fortune 500. Yeah, it's good you got some in there, but when you have the wrong combination, the wrong area, well, then they go broke. And cash flow is critical, but when they analyze these properties, all they look at is the name brand and, oh, it's making a little PWAC 10% a year, 20% return on my money. Well, dude, anybody could do that. My dog could do that and sit there and claim 20% return when you're paying overpriced for a property in the wrong position, in the wrong area. They don't talk about competition. And when you're investing in that, you're paying these people that aren't even very smart to manage your money and put it in there. Well, you're going to get a 20% return if it happens, but when it does happen, it's always late. It's never on time. It's never after the year. It's usually supposed to start within 6 months or a year, but then because they miscalculated and they're not smart enough to know what the real problems are, and their typical investment portfolio and leveraging and saying is that, oh, it's a cap rate of this. I mean, it's a capitalization, liquidation, and we're going to return this to your money and all this stuff and make it all sound so good. But they forget to tell everybody that, oh, well, we're going to lower the expenses and raise the rents. Well, the rent's going to go up above market value, putting it in the worst position again. And when it does that, you're skimming off the top of the very top in the worst investment position. So when you're doing that, there's no cushion, and the profits are so small that who cares? It's not getting the massive amount of profit as if an investor knew and had a course for me or whatever, a course or training. I want to say a course, more of like the way you live and the way you make money and how you get rich, would be making double or quadruple your money with money coming out, $1 to $3 million per deal, $1 to $5 million per versus putting up cash for these bozos that don't even know what they're doing. But the problem I'm getting at is that when they don't know the real problem, they're gonna stay at this constant 10 or 20% return because that's what investing is, and that's called good money. That's the same type of scenario that doesn't get people rich. You look rich, but you're not rich. It's the same exact scenario as going and put your money in the bank and getting the PWAC 3% or 1%. It's the same thing, but 20%. In commercial real estate is worse than being in a savings account at 1 or 3% because you're just plain stupid. You're so dumb that you could be making double or quadruple the money of the property. So if it's a $40 million property, you can turn around and make another $40 million yourself and sell the thing in 2 years to 3 years, 4 years if you're really not bright. But if you got your numbers together, you know what you're your plan is and how to reposition it and maneuver it and how things really work and what's not working about the property. And on top of all that, these idiots buy these properties at full price and they don't even know why the original seller is selling the property. They just say, oh, look at our properties. We got this name brand, this name brand. Well, yeah, they're selling it for a lot of reasons. They're ripping them off. If you were a smart investor, you would pull it out and close the deal in a week versus 120 days, and plus their gigantic down payments, which is huge because that, and then they tell the investors, they don't even really tell the investors normally what they pay for it because they don't want to get embarrassed. They're getting ripped off. So when you cut through all the hype and the bullshit and you look at the real numbers, their solution is going to be, well, I'm going to raise rents, cut expenses and all that stuff. Well, normally, you know, they don't even realize the numbers already got or inflated because they're selling this thing with lower expenses and inflated income. So in reality, when they do it on their paper and show it to the investors, you're going to be breaking even, okay? Because you just got sold a bag of crap because you're too stupid to know how the workings of a real commercial real estate property works, like retail, and all the cash flow and how everything fits together and where the real problems are and where the numbers are wrong. So when you get to the profit stage, they don't have the fucking profit, so they have to go borrow money at the time of the year is up or bring in more investors. So you know what? When you get paid out as an investor from your passive investment, 99.9% of the time or most of the time, you're getting paid by the other new investors. It becomes a Ponzi scheme, and your money is being made off of the other people getting into it. So they have to mass market and close a bunch of deals to keep coming with the new investors to keep paying the other investors because they're too stupid to really pull the big money out of all the properties. So all these new investors with all these all these new funds or investment firms that just learn how to do this, and they're so much experience, when they just showed up out of the blue, all of a sudden they're just fucking experts. All of a sudden you're fucking experts and you're taking all these people's money. And so you have to take and advertise and close all these deals and get all these investors because you can't really sit still because none of your properties are really making money. So these investors are going to get, well, since they're credited, if they lose their ass, these guys get away scot-free and you lost your money. And it's chalked up as, well, a learning lesson. But reality is that, like, if you're smart and you had to analyze a property with a real breakdown and have a real plan how to make double and triple your money, because if you knew what you're doing, that's what you would do. Because if you're not making that kind of money, you're making 20% in real estate, you're just dumb. You're not even smart. You might as well go to the casino and practice losing money, because that's not making money. 20% money, well, you can live on credit and you can have some type of baby millionaire stuff and look like you have a plane and look like you have money, but you don't have money. You're not rich. That's not even wealth. That's the bank account savings. So they have all these key mistakes and they don't know it. And investors are at the bottom of the chain, listening to the sales tactics, smoke and mirrors, and the properties. They don't do any construction. They don't do any changes. They just write off the passive income of the small amount of increase while they pretend they're able to cut expenses, raise rent and all this stuff. But that's general basic kindergarten stuff. If you don't have a real plan to double or triple your money, you don't know what you're doing. You're just in there. So most of these new companies, they don't even have a track record for 10, 20 years of investment or setting up things. So you're really at the mercy of a clueless individual or a clueless group of people that dress up in suits, take a lot of photos, and do hyper marketing and, you know, radio type voices and all this stuff, and make it all smoke and mirrors like this thing is so great. When and on all top of that, the property don't even have that much, doesn't have any equity, because they're probably barely putting up any money of their own money in it, and it's all investors. So you're just not making any money when you could just do this, learn yourself, get the real value, make double or triple your money, and have a real concept of it. Plus, they miss the whole point of the whole concept of making the profit, how it works, why it doesn't work is a critical thing. It's so funny. These people are just crazy. I guarantee you take my training and I teach you on your stuff, you're going to be looking at these properties and all these real estate deals and be like, how do these people even get in business? How can anybody actually fall for their bullshit? Because it's so retarded. They're clueless. They're the typical consumer buyer, just like going to a car lot and getting full price ripped off when you could be making money on all your luxury cars and all these other things and buying them at like dirt cheap. You know what a real actual car dealership pays for a car, to be honest? To tell you the little secret about the car industry, as I'm going to explain, the commercial real estate's even worse. You know, an actual car, I mean, like State Farm, Geico, and all these other companies, all these cars that get totaled by hail damage, you know what? They get paid on them, and the customers get paid on them, and then they sell them and they fix them, and they don't even get a salvage title on them. The title goes back to normal, and then a person mass buys all the cars and everything. Guess what? They pay for like a $60,000 car costs them. It's like $2,000, maybe $4,000 tops. And they turn around and sell that car for 60 grand, and it's been crashed and it's been fixed up, and the consumer may get a little deal. You buy a massive amount of cars, you make a shitload of money. I mean, I got clients making $200 to $400 million a year doing that, and that's just the car business. And then the salespeople go to the people in the car business and say, "Oh, we're only making, they're only $500 on a new car." Bullshit, because the new cars get it to the dealership cheaper. The dealership, it's all layers of bullshit, layers of lies, layers of lies, layers of lies. If you don't know the industry, you're on top of all these layers, and the top layer is lying to the next layer, and the owner of the car industry, of the car lot, is lying to the salesman. The finance guy's lying. I mean, the owner's lying to the finance guy, and the finance guy's lying to the salesman lying to the customer. It's lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. Like, commercial real estate is 10 times more, and all these people are in it, and they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're just being punked by the consumer level strategies and consumer level traps, and selling it to just plain dumb investors. Dumb. If you're an investor, you're a passive investor, and you haven't learned, you're doing this stuff, you need to pay me, like, you need to send money to me like ASAP, so you save yourself some bank and make some real money and get really rich, because you're not going to get rich doing passive investing in commercial real estate. That's like the dumbest thing in the planet. I mean, because you're like a drug dealer getting paid a referral fee, and you're selling like, cartel level amount of money, and you're making like $10,000 or $30,000 a year. It's freaking retarded. There's so much money in commercial real estate on every single deal. It's built in, and it's there, and these people that are doing all the funds and all this other stuff, they don't even know it. They don't even know how to get it. They don't know how to take control of the property and do anything for the future of it, or change it, or what the way things really fit together, and how things really work, and how to make the money, the big money. So they're all on top of this level, being played at every single angle. It's just hilarious. But hey, the more they mass market, and the more studios they have, and the more fake analysis and the training and the fake consumer level this, the better they are, right? So let's put our money with them. That's how it works. Well, that should be a red flag. The more they advertise, the more they market, and the more they're paying for ads, and the more crap they do, and the more people they put in front of the camera with their suits and all this other stuff, or just more people, the less they know, because they have to capitalize on getting mass amount of dumb people to make their model work. Always be closing dumb people. That's what these guys do. Everybody they want, they can get everybody they want and close as many out of that group that are dumb. Anyways, that's just reality. So there you go. Be aware on that. All right. So yeah, I do commercial real estate. I train people. I've done this for 20 some years. Hardcore extreme. Offices across the nation. Sold my company, etc., etc. I'm not a mass marketer. I don't spend all day and night making videos. That's all I do, and making up crap. I actually do what I say I do, and I get people in the business in commercial real estate. And then sometimes when things slow down, I get to catch up on a little bit. I'll do some videos and stuff, get a group of people, and keep going, and things like that. So if you're interested in commercial real estate and making real bank versus being played on the other side of the field, which no one even talks about because they're all getting played, give me a call, 312-473-4163, or text me at 312-218-8737. Thank you.
Power, realize your power, finding out myself, power, realize your power, finding out myself. Go where you wanna go, do what you're gonna do what you wanna do, go where you wanna go. Get on with it, come on, get on with it, come on, get on with it, come on, get on with it. It's what I say, what I say. Listen what I say, listen what I say, listen what I say, what I say. Get on with it, come on, get on with it. I go left, I go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, I go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, I go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, I go right. Baby, you're gonna be mine. Baby, you looking so fine. Baby, you gonna be mine. Baby, you looking so fine. Baby, you're gonna be mine. Baby, you looking so fine. Baby, you gonna be mine. Baby, you looking so fine. I go left, you go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, lift it up, dance all night. Go right, get it up, dance on, get on top now, get on top, get on top, get on top, yeah. Power, realize your power, finding out myself. I go left, you go right, lift it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, dance all night. I go left, you go right. Power, realize your power, finding out myself.